the United States Securities and Exchange Commission, which was led by Gary Gensler, made a mistake with its recent approach to the regulation of cryptocurrencies. Murphy stated that the Securities and Exchange Commission C adopts an arbitrary approach to regulatory enforcement on a recent episode of the Thinking Crypto podcast, which was hosted by Tony Edward. Murphy observed that the Securities and Exchange Commission ought to be process-oriented, noting that it takes time for new regulations to receive input from the sector. He went on to clarify that when such laws are released, it is anticipated that they will elicit feedback that ought to be taken into consideration when formulating the ultimate regulations. An experienced attorney provided examples of situations in which Gensler circumvented the process and launched enforcement actions when the Securities and Exchange Commission C did not have specific jurisdiction. Taking into consideration such an uncommon step, he remarked that it was the incorrect strategy. Therefore, it has resulted in cases in which the court has reversed the judgments made by the chairman of the SEC, insisting that he adheres to the law. His agency's Twitter account was hacked most embarrassingly, and his sponsor @MyQuit because of close Epstein ties. In addition, the latest comments don't do anything except add fuel to the fire in the ongoing legal battle between Ripple and the CC. Additionally, Ripple Labs has recently acquired standard custody as a component of its portfolio. Close of Coinbase's position regarding the debt box drama earlier, Paul Grewal voiced his severe disapproval of the Securities and Exchange Commission blasting its silence, even though it admitted to engaging in fraud in the debt box case. During a recent discussion, the chief legal officer of Coinbase brought attention to the misinterpretations made by the SEC. He stated that the TRO against Debtbox was tainted. Grewal further emphasized the lack of accountability that the Securities and Exchange Commission, CWAC and MESIS, possesses, stating that rather than pulling its order after admitting deception, the SEC sat silent. Coinbase disobeyed the order of the Securities and Exchange Commission to freeze its assets. And Grewal stated, "We wouldn't comply further unless they explained why we should." On the other hand, the Securities and Exchange Commission, XA, remained mute as the exchange unfroze assets. In his criticism of the SEC's response, Grewal referred to it as insufficient and called for more comprehensive corrective efforts. The controversy began when attorneys for the Securities and Exchange Commission misrepresented information in court, which led to false claims being made against Debtbox. In addition, United States District Judge Robert Shelby criticized the Securities and Exchange Commission for its activities. In addition, several Republican senators, including J.D. Vance and Cynthia Lummis, have written a letter to Gensler in which they voiced their worries about the proceeding. The XRP ledger exponential expansion across a variety of fronts during the fourth quarter of 2023, which resulted in a notable increase in the market value of tokens that were traded on the platform. When compared to the previous quarter, the entire market value of tokens on XRPL increased by $169 million, as stated in a report that was just published by Messari. On the protocol, Solo moves up to the position of primary asset. Solo is the leading token on XRP, commanding 45 overall market value and emerging as the dominant force. This is even though XRPL hosts over 3,300 other assets. The three most valuable tokens on the network are responsible for 67% of the overall market value when taken together, with a market value of $33.07 billion, the native asset of XRP Ledger. XRP has retained its position as the sixth largest cryptocurrency in terms of market value. The circulating market value of the asset had a noteworthy increase of 21.2 from one quarter to the next, as well as a noteworthy increase of 93.6 from 1 year to the next. At the end of 2022, there was a distribution of 4 billion XRP, which was equivalent to 8 of the total supply of XRP. This distribution took place in 2023. Messari's analysis suggests that the abrupt price increases played a major part in the rise in market value, even though this distribution did contribute to the expansion of the market value. A contradictory picture is presented by the network activity on XRPL. During the fourth quarter, the network activity on XRPL offered a picture that was not quite clear. When compared to the previous quarter, the number of active wallet addresses dropped by 31.3, but the number of transactions experienced a significant increase of 22.7 during the same period. It is important to note that a large amount of the transaction activity originated from a relatively small collection of accounts sending transactions to a single account. which indicates that the activity intensity was relatively high. In the meantime, the minting of NFTs experienced a remarkable increase of 490 compared to the previous quarter, which resulted in a 170 increase in the total number of transactions involving NFTs. The number of NFT mints reached 3.4 million in the fourth quarter of 2023, which is more than half of the total mints that have occurred since the XLS20 standard was implemented in 2022. Other recent developments concerning the protocol include the disclosure that validators of the XRP-LF sidechain would be compensated in XRP. This information was disclosed in the context of the protocol. Farron Pratio, co-founder and CEO of Piers Technology, the business that is responsible for the XRPL Ledger EVM compatible sidechain, made this announcement. Piers Technology operates in the cryptocurrency space. With XRP serving as its native asset, the EVM sidechain functions independently and facilitates Ethereum transactions. It is connected to XRPL through a bridge, which allows it to operate independently. It was revealed by Messari that the XRP ledger, XRP, saw a time of remarkable growth during the fourth quarter of 2023. This growth was accompanied by an increase in the overall market value of its tokens. There's a growing interest in the services that blockchain technology provides, as seen by the fact that the value increased to $169 million, which is a 47% rise from the previous quarter. The market value of XRPL is dominated by the Solo token. Even though XRPL is home to more than 3,300 distinct assets, Solo was the one that garnered the most attention because it controlled 45% of the overall market value. A demonstration of the concentration of investments is provided by the fact that the three leading tokens collectively owned a market value that was 67% of the total. At a market value of $33.07 billion, XRP, the native cryptocurrency of XRPL, maintained its position as the sixth largest cryptocurrency in terms of market value. It saw remarkable growth with a 21.2% increase in circulating market value over the most recent quarter and an amazing 93.6% rise year over year after the previous quarter. The distribution of 4 billion XRP, which accounted for 8% of the total supply that would be available in 2022, was a factor that contributed to the increase in market value. The analysis conducted by Messari, on the other hand, considers considerable price increases to be the key driving force behind the increase. The network activity on XRPL during the same period showed opposite tendencies, with active wallet addresses decreasing by 31.3% while transaction volume increased by 22.7%. Network activity on XRPL also skyrocketed during this period. It is important to note that a significant amount of this activity included a small group of accounts that mostly transacted with one account, which indicates a high degree of concentration. The minting of NFTs on XRPL had an unanticipated surge with a 491 increase from the previous quarter, which led to a 170 increase in the number of transactions involving NFTs. The information that has been provided is not intended to be trading advice. There is no responsibility on the part of cryptopolitan.com for any investments that are made based on the information that is provided on this page. Before making any decisions about investments, we strongly advise conducting independent research and consulting with a knowledgeable professional.